T-minus 10 minutes. T-minus 9 minutes. T-minus 8 minutes. T-minus 7 minutes. T-minus 6 minutes. minus 5 minutes. Minus for minutes. Minus 3 minutes. Minus 2 minutes. Minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
Well, hello there. Nice to be back home, or at least our Canadian home, Golden Ticket Sports Center, the place to be today for episode number 1804 of your favorite daytime sports talk show. Welcoming everybody in. Game Plus streaming, the RP YouTube channel, Silver State Sports Next Hour podcast, and WQVC Radio. Hi, two of my great buddies on the program with me today. Mitchell Scruffy Blair coming up next. And Mr. Furious David Benefield. And speaking of all that, for the West Coast Vancouver sports fans and RP show fans, I have a special message for you. We've got a lot of stories for you. We're not going to waste anybody's time on that right now when we got Scruffy with us, because it looks like the professional sports bettor Mitchell Scruffy Blair has something to say as we set sail here and have liftoff.
You're talking about David Benefield.
Yeah.
When are you going to start introducing David Benefield as Canadian Football Hall of Famer and the father of a guy who is going to do tremendous things in this game, Ty Benefield, who's at LSU after a great time at Boise State?
Number one, he's not in the Hall of Fame. And number two,
why?
So that I'll announce him. Don't get me going on that. And two, the reason Benny wants to come on is because of his son, Ty Benefield of the LSU Tigers. I tell you what, I love when all those levels of football interlock. NFL, CFL, college, bing, bing, bing. And Benefield covers them all. So, yeah, all these ballers that have been on of late have all asked to come on. I don't know why. I just love that they do. And David Benefield and I just always got along. So that's exciting. Okay. Again, words for Vancouver viewers later on, so stay tuned for that. Mitch, I know you're going to love this. We're opening with the Blue Jays. Mistakes proved costly for the Blue Jays Tuesday in a 5-3 loss to the surging Kansas City Royals at Rogers Center. Vladdy made a throwing error in KC's two-run sixth inning. Jays went 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. It'll be soon over, Mitch. Are you ready for that? It'll be over soon.
Yeah, like if they don't learn to hit the baseball, which they haven't all year, they'll be done. And they need quality starts from their starting pitching every night out. Max Scherzer was not good last night. He did the best he could. How they got out of the first inning only giving up 1 run. But they're just not that good, Rod. And the record shows it.
Yeah.
And number 27 continues to be a disaster. And I don't know how many people continue to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. But he's been a disaster.
But you know why? Because they have to. Because he's locked up long-term on a big ticket.
Most of the fan base, why, it's getting sickening how much this guy... Let's just put it this way, Roddy. What would the reaction be in Toronto? Or Edmonton? Or Tampa? If Matthews, McDavid, or Kucherov had 8 goals, 7/8 of the way through the season, what would be going on in those markets?
Hey, it's funny you say that. It's a great comparison, but the thing is, the teams I don't believe are influenced by the fans. At least not the winning ones. I don't.
Well, they
but it's funny
be.
You bring that up. Well, right. That's so the Jays don't care. You think they're happy with Vladdy's performance?
But Vladdy's not getting booed at home. Like, why are the fans continuing to?
No, they're not.
Try to
they
prop this guy up, because you wouldn't see that with Matthews.
Well, he's been booed at home. Would other fans boo McDavid? No.
I think they would if he would get 8 goals 7/8 of the way through the season.
You had to think about it because you know the answer. They wouldn't.
Well,
you just answered your own question.
I
why?
think they would right now until he signs a contract, but whatever.
Well, the reason I'm opening with this is it's the warm-up. This segment goes fast, and it's brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel in Vancouver. Neil Chark, huge BC Lions fan. We'll get to that next. But that's everybody's talking about the Blue Jays, and my point is around my circles, and it will soon be over. This is the one thing you get this, man, more than me. I don't know how much you use analytics or numbers or the past with your professional sports betting career. And thank you for not telling me to stop using that. I love it. But somebody said that the Jays have to go 800 winning percentage over the rest of the way to get into the playoffs. They've gone 441 to this point. So why would they magically go 800 now?
Yeah,
It's not happening. That's
just
the
like all
point.
these
Do you
people
use
that
that?
were saying. Sorry, it's just like all these people that were saying, "Oh, they've got no more games against teams over 500 now." This just in. You're not over 500 now.
That sounds like a Daryl Sutter line. Hey, Daryl,
Like,
how about your team, your record against teams above 5? We're not over 500.
and Roddy, I love Jamie Campbell. You know I think Dan Shulman is top of the earth. But oh my God, stop feeding the chicken salad to the fans when they all know
Mitch,
it's
stop
chicken
it.
you know what.
You know exactly what they're doing. You need to stop it. And that's the one thing about the Blue Jays that I never hear as complaints about the broadcast until there. You know what they're doing. So come on. I mean, Buck Martinez is gone, so now you got to pick on these guys? Buck was the worst for
I'll
that.
be honest with you.
The worst.
I'll be honest with you. Buck might have been an improvement over Joe Siddle. Because, oh my God, he's bad. And Caleb Joseph isn't much better.
Anybody replacing Buck would have been a drop-off. So, listen, somebody wrote in and said, I think it was Tony from Saskatoon, said, you'd better have a tribute to Dolly on your show. Listen, it's a sports talk show. We're not going to have a tribute to Dolly Parton here. It's in my commentary. If you care, you can read it at rodpeterson.com right now. But she passed away at age 80, the queen of country. The poll question today is, what's the greatest Dolly Parton sing? What's the greatest Dolly Parton song of all time? 9 to 5, Jolene, I Will Always Love You, or other. What's your vote, Mitch?
Jolene.
Okay. It was voted by some polls as the greatest country music song of all time. Not just hers, but of all songs, Jolene. So for me, it's 9 to 5. The catchy beat, the story behind it, the movie that went with it, all of that. I'm just a huge Dolly Parton fan, and I am assuming you are too.
Oh, as I said, I don't know if there's anybody out there that was more universally loved than Dolly Parton. And it's funny, Roddy, because yesterday, driving, I heard 9 to 5 on a radio station that maybe has never, ever played that song before. I think it just sort of tells you just what type of impact she had.
Well, and not just with the music. She didn't care what anybody thought, ever. When she came out, Thanksgiving Cowboys game a couple years ago, dressed as a Cowboys cheerleader, immediately I was like, what are you doing? This is disturbing. And then I thought,
Jerry
she doesn't
Jones
care what I think.
That.
Yeah, well, she doesn't care what I think. She doesn't care what you think. She didn't give a rip what anybody thinks. And that was the hallmark of her career.
Yep.
So God bless Dolly Parton. That is the poll question today. What's the greatest Dolly song of all time? I got special words for Vancouver viewers, plus also Alberta viewers too, but that's later, so hang on. The warm-up continues with Scruffy and me right after this on the RP Show.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with The Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Okay, consider this. Out of order here, but Melfort's Darren writes in, says, players have off years. Come on, Scruff. Argo Bill says, good morning, crew. Good day for RP while fishing. Rich in Edmonton says, I'm old enough to remember Gretz being booed at the Northlands Coliseum. It's still outrageous to me. Mike in Winnipeg says, Jolene, 100%. Jeff the Stamps Peters fan says, islands in the stream. Jeff the Stamps fan says that. Brent in Saskatoon says, coat of many colors. And Vintage Sasko says, no doubt Dolly Parton's watching the RP show from YouTube in the heavens above. Hashtag respect. Hashtag Craven alum. She was at Craven? I might have seen her there. But Mitch said, what's my message to the Calgary and Vancouver viewers? And Mitch texted me and said, oh, are you moving into the Vancouver-Calgary market? As I said to Mitch, newsflash, we're already in those markets. Here's what I was going to say later, but I'll say it. What I'll say next. Well, it's not your fault. You're like everybody else from Saskatchewan. You don't leave it, and that's fine. You don't see outside the 306. But I go out, and what I realized over the past week, the Theo Golf Tournament, Overtime Hockey Lanes, BC Lions Practice, BC Place, this show is very special to a lot of people outside of Saskatchewan. And that's not Saskatchewan. I'm like part of the furniture there, just like you. You're like that tree that you drive by every day for 35 years on your way to work. That doesn't offend me. They're used to us here. Nobody says that we're good in Saskatchewan. Mitch, they never did. They say it now. Oh, we missed you. Whatever. I'm just saying, and I'll get into more of the stories. Well, BC Lions asked me to move there. I said I'll take it under advisement. Anyway, speaking of the BC Lions, back on point here. On Tuesday, Nathan Rourke was recognized for another outstanding performance, earning a CFL Player of the Week nod Tuesday. He also moved ahead of Dave Dickinson for fifth on the Lions' all-time passing yards list, currently sitting at 13,603 for his brilliant career. I didn't get a chance to talk about, or did I? I did. You were on with me Monday when I was on the air from Vancouver. But CFL musings, Nathan Rourke, the top star of the week. We can get into week 13 now if you'd like. But where are you on all the CFL stuff here on this Wednesday?
A lot of people wondering what's going on with the green and white. They're not impressed over the last 2 weeks, but Roddy, you know what that's all about, talking about the tree in the driveway for 35 years. A lot of people wondering what's going on. And surprisingly, Rod, maybe not so, because it's a case of what have you done for me lately? Hearing a lot of criticism about Trevor Harris. And some people asking, has he finally hit the wall? I wouldn't be betting against Trevor Harris, kids. Because they'll be I don't know. Sam Emilis going on the 6th game. That doesn't help them. But I've got confidence that do I have confidence this team's going to win the West? No. Do I think they're going to pull out of this slide pretty quick? Yep. And you should too. Because Corey Mace will
I don't know what it
happen.
is. I don't know what it is. Rider fans are like Leaf fans, Yankee fans. They want the Leafs to go 84-0. They want the Yankees to go 162-0. They want the Cowboys to go 17-0. And if they don't, somebody's got to be fired. Right. It's the ref's fault. I mean, you on Monday said the Riders played garbage football. I don't know if you saw the response to that meme we posted, but people are, well, but the defense played okay. That's not the point. You lost the turnover battle. You lost the penalty battle. You lost the quarterback battle. You lost pretty much every battle. You weren't good. So God bless them.
The defense played okay, you said? That's what people are
saying?
I
didn't. That's what one of the fans said, yeah.
Just go back a few. Who was the player of the week?
Nathan Rourke.
He's the quarterback of the BC Lions, right?
Mm-hmm.
He threw for 350 yards, right?
Yeah. As did Trevor Harris,
well.
by the way.
Oh, my bad. Good God, people. Wake up.
But that's God bless you, man, because I won't and don't have to put up with it. So if they want to write into our Facebook and whatever and take umbrage with the things that we say, I'm not going to sit and listen to it all the time. And furthermore, so as Mitch said, are you going into those markets? We're already in those markets. Like the BC Lions should be sending a gift basket to Mike Davis on Friday, who said that Nathan Rourke has not played well all year. Because I could tell by the look in the eye of Nathan Rourke when I was standing beside him. He saw it, and it pissed him off. And my point, they are all watching. Okay, and I want to get to all the teams here, and we will. But the point is the league is watching. The fans across the country are watching. So we don't need to be on the air out there. Mitch, for God's sakes, I told an oil buddy of mine this morning who's from Southeast Sask, I said, you're so lucky that you have the sports talk that you have here in Sask, because in Vancouver, they don't even have it. Did I talk to you about being? They don't even have a 2-hour show on any station to talk about the Canucks or the Lions. It's not that I'm special.
Isn't there a show in
We're
Victoria?
talking about
Doesn't Don Taylor do one?
Podcast.
Is it a podcast?
And yeah, there's all these podcasts, and they're all about the worst team in the NHL, the Canucks, the 32nd ranked team in the NHL, and that's all anybody wants to talk about. Yet, I was at the stadium Sunday. There's thousands upon thousands of Lions fans that's getting no coverage. So, beyond all of that, my point is, when you criticize somebody, or I criticize somebody, or one of our guests criticize somebody, it pisses people off, but it does motivate them. That's my whole point. So, and the Lions people know that. They chuckled. They get it. Nobody likes being criticized, but now, dude, Calgary's last place in the West. Do you expect them to end there? Did you pick them last this year?
Yep.
Yeah, so you're not surprised. You're not surprised.
Nope. In fact, you want your little meme for your hot take?
Sure.
The Ottawa Red Blacks will get their first win of the season against Calgary.
When are they playing?
When Calgary goes to Ottawa, Ottawa will get their first win.
Why do you not like Calgary? You're not wrong. I'm just saying, what is it about them that you don't
I just
care for?
Don't buy into what they've done. And I hadn't at the start of the season. Vernon Adams Jr. has played a lot better than I thought he would. But I just thought there were too many holes there this year. And right now, the West is, the West is pretty much what I thought it was right now at the start of the season. The only difference is I had BC in first and Edmonton in third.
I'm just reading the comments. It's all good with you. Matt's watching in Fort Lauderdale. Coach DeBuck, he says BC is now healthy. Health is a big factor, but nobody was willing to give them a pass when they were 0-3 on the health thing. But now they've won 4 in a row, and they're the hottest team in the CFL. There's no doubt. Carlos in Indiana says September 19th, Ottawa, Calgary. That's the game. Vancouver, Eric says, I have to watch Sports Cage for CFL coverage. Read into that.
Green zone's out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, read into that what you will. Wayne in BC says Trevor Harris has finally come down to earth. Injuries have affected the Riders, but so have all the other teams had to live with them. Math with the Riders. Same to Buck. He says the wide receiver core, running back core banged up. They lost their safety. They are going through it right now. They will recover. Will recover. But that's the point. Somebody said on here, was it you? Somebody said a healthy Sask still the team to beat. They're just not healthy, and I don't know whether they will get healthy or not.
I don't disagree with that statement. But the only thing is, though, is that, Rod, we know how tough it is to get to the playoffs if you're not the first place team, because it's so much easier for the first place team to get to the Grey Cup. And I don't know right now, as it stands right now, if the Riders could beat the BC Lions and the Edmonton Eskimos to get to the Grey Cup. And right now, and yes, Edmonton maybe hasn't hit their adversity yet. BC has and is getting out of it. The Riders are in it right now. But right now, I don't think the Riders are finishing first.
No.
As it stands
today.
I
don't. Yeah. 902-518-3033 is the text line. And by the way, that's the thing with my take on the Trevor Harris stuff. He was playing at an all-world level, the best football of his life. And going into the season, he said he thought at age 40 his best football was ahead of him. And I laughed. But then dagnabbit, he went out and did it. But I told you the other day that this is a different team without A.J. Ouellette in the backfield, and I still see that. You said his backup, right, but you said his backup Conley was okay the other day, and he was okay. But there's something about Ouellette that just, there's a confidence that some players bring to everybody around them.
Right, and it's not just handing A.J. Ouellette the ball and having him get 4 or 5 yards. It's A.J. Ouellette blocking to give Trevor Harris an extra second and a half so he can find that receiver. And Quali Conley and Star Thomas aren't the same as A.J. Ouellette. Quali Conley can run the ball for 4.5, 5.5 yards a carry, but I'm not seeing him chipping the defensive end to give Trevor Harris a little bit more time to throw the football.
And by the way, for anybody that watched the game, you can talk about the injuries all you want. That's what DeBuck just said. But he also knows, if you watched the game, they gave up the ball at inopportune times. They lost the turnover battle 4-1, and then they had 2 touchdowns taken off the board due to stupid penalties.
Yep.
Has nothing to do with injuries. So when Scruffy said they played garbage football, I am assuming that's what you were referring to. That had nothing to do with injuries. They played terribly. And anybody that had an issue with that.
But damn it, the refs cost them the game, Rod.
And that's why I don't listen to it. Well, we got a lot of time with Scruffy still. And there are some questions for you that have come in from the viewers. For some reason, they like you in Vancouver, too. I don't get it. They have to do with baseball, however, so I'm not going to get into that right now. I think we have time for the picks for Pump Jacks. By the way, welcome back, Pump Jacks, Cathedral Pump Jacks Weyburn for another year. Yeah. Are you ready for your CFL picks for this week? You were 4-0 last week. Okay. Why? Did you write it down?
No, I'm just
There's some
on my
good
phone
ones.
Here. I'm looking at point spreads and everything, too, so.
We might have to break in the middle of this, but trust me, we'll come back and finish it. Montreal at Winnipeg. I'll go first. I'm taking the Alouettes.
Yeah, I have to take the Alouettes as well because I don't know if Zach Collaros is going to play because he didn't practice yesterday. So if it's Drew Brown, it's Montreal all day long.
That's Friday. Saturday, the Hamilton Tiger Cats at Calgary. Would have been a big thing if Bo was going back, but he's not. I'm taking the Stamps. Probably not you.
You know what? I am going to take Calgary in this one just because I'm not sold on Trey Ford. And I don't know where they're at with Harrison Frost. So I'm going to take Calgary to win this one in a shootout.
Toronto at Sask Saturday.
Roddy, the Riders are favored by 4.5 points. I'm going to take the Riders to win straight up, but I'm going to take Toronto to cover. So I guess
I'll take the
this
Rides.
purpose, it'll be the Riders.
We do straight up here. We're not gambling degenerates like Scruffy. I believe Chad Kelly is 5-0 all time against the Rides. But I'll still take the Riders in this one.
They've already won once there in their home game or whatever it was.
Exactly. And BC at Ottawa, do we even need to take the time?
BC.
The only way BC loses is if they get lost on their way to the stadium. That's the only way if they don't literally show up.
Or if Conridge Holloway
902.
comes back for the Red Blacks.
Right. They're officially laughingstock territory. And it's interesting, by the way, though, and again, these guys were, what's your news for Vancouver and Calgary? I didn't say I had news. I said I have something to say to the Vancouver and Alberta viewers. I didn't say I had news for them, so just chill out. But if you just listen to what we're saying, Khalil Carter on here was excellent on Monday. And he brought up the point because he's coached and played. He said the coaches and players see and hear everything everybody says. I'm like, at least somebody finally admits that. I think you know that.
Boy, remember the days? I don't read the newspaper. I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch TV. Remember those days?
I flew beside Danny Barrett to a game in Calgary. He read every single word of every section of the newspaper. He was in the entertainment section, the classifieds. I'm like, Danny, I thought you said you didn't read the paper. I didn't even say it. Okay, we'll be right back. It's just getting good, believe it or not. It's the RP Show, Silver State Sports Game Plus streaming podcast, and WQVZ Radio. We'll be right back.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Dean, Brody, and the Recklaws teaming up for the Hometown Heroes Tour.
If there's work, you know I'm gonna work.
Live at Temple Garden Center, November 9th.
Can't blame nobody else. I can't help myself.
Two of Canada's biggest country acts. One stage, one unforgettable night on the Hometown Heroes Tour. Tickets on sale now at the Temple Garden Center box office or online at saskpix.ca.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
All right, here for a good time, not a long time. One more segment with Scruffy. By the way, the Mad Greek. When we talk hockey, it's for the Mad Greek, whether it's pizza, ribs, or authentic Greek favorites. Make it the Mad Greek Eatery tonight. Open until 11 p.m. Scruffy came over here, a couple of weeks ago, Mitchell. He wanted to see how this outfit all works. We went to the Mad Greek, and Mitch and the Mad Greek, John Iatridis, talked forever. They'd still be there talking if I didn't break you guys up. I told you, the Mad Greek loves that stuff.
There's apparently a rumor going around that I may be making a return visit with a mutual friend of ours next week.
Oh, good. Well, I'll be here, so that'll be good.
You know who I'm talking about.
No, I don't. Wayne in BC says,
big
yeah,
man.
Scruffy, I don't think... Who?
The big man.
Oh, Gary Bresh. Yeah. I get it. Choppa. Okay. I don't think the Riders have enough time to get back to first place, says Wayne. Give them another month when Schaefer, Baker, and Ouellette return. Sean in Vancouver says, is the Scruff Dog watching Canada at the Little League World Series? Little Mountain from Vancouver continues to surprise. Okay.
I watched their game yesterday. I joined it when Canada was up 5-1, and I went, whoa, they're beating South Korea 5-1. This is great. And they hung on. I mean, they hung on. But what I didn't know, Rod, they've got video replay of the Little League World Series. Because there was a play where a kid from South Korea was out. They called him safe. They went to the monitor in Little League.
They should have video. They should have video replay. But anyways, can you spend the rest of the day thinking about this? We have Vancouver viewers asking you questions. So when I said that we're already in those markets, you knew that, right? Don't tell me this is groundbreaking. We're already out there.
I thought maybe there was something as far as like a more, like you were going to be a permanent home. Like maybe something was happening like with Mike Richards in Calgary. That maybe you had found a way to get this show onto a radio station or something.
There is no sports coverage in Vancouver. None. It's a topic for another time.
So that's fine.
Right. So it's us now.
Yes.
You're getting this, right? Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
I get it now what you said, but yeah, I thought maybe there was something bigger there.
I said, this is big.
Well,
they're watching us in the absence of anything else. I don't actually. NHL predictions for the Metropolitan Division. You chimed in on this, so this is why I bring it up when we talk hockey. This is from FanDuel.
Okay.
We've got Carolina 1, Washington 2, New Jersey 3, Philadelphia 4, then the cutoff line, and then Columbus, Pittsburgh, Rangers, and the Islanders. A lot of people were surprised to see the Islanders last. You were surprised to see the Philadelphia Flyers as low as 4th. Am I right?
Yep. I think Philadelphia, a lot of people are sleeping on them. I think they're going to be a very good team this year. If Porter Martone's eligible for Rookie of the Year, he might have the early preseason vote. I don't know how many games he played, though, if he's still eligible after last year. I don't think Washington's going to be as good. And I am surprised to see the Islanders where they are because Peter DeBoer is the head coach there. So.
Well, my take when people were taking umbrage with that, and a lot of them were Florida NHL fans, they said somebody's got to be last. And let's not forget, they did fire their coach with 4 games before playoffs last year, and it didn't work.
Has FanDuel done the Atlantic Division yet? Because that's going to be such a war. What was that
I
one?
posted it already.
I never saw that.
I thought we talked about it on this show.
Well, we talked about Edmonton.
I know. Can we save it for another day?
Yeah, we can.
Here it is. Florida 1, Tampa 2, Montreal 3, Buffalo 4, cutoff line, Toronto 5, Ottawa 6, Boston 7, Detroit 8. And I'm not sure if you noticed or not, but Brady Tkachuk's getting ripped all in sundry today because he was asked about being booed in Canadian cities on the road, and he said, well, in Seattle, I didn't get anything. He thinks Seattle's in Canada, Brady Tkachuk. So
I know.
One thing I learned this summer, Canadians hate the Tkachuk brothers. Did you know that?
You are going to have a great time with Brady this winter.
I can't wait. I'm very excited about that. By the way, another one, since you're here, I should get your take on this. And we got time. We got plenty of time. It was going to be point 5 of my quick 6 show topics, but just 2, I won't read the whole script here, but basically NCAA ruling that once you have a tryout in the NFL or basically earn $1 in the NFL, you're not eligible to come back to college. Now in Canada, we call it the Bresciani rule that goes back to like 88. Rob Bresciani was playing for the Rams, Regina Rams. He went up and had a tryout with the Stamps. I think he spent a whole year with the Stampeders and then never got another pro deal, came back and played junior for a year. Did you know that deal? And they called the Bresciani rule.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But ask him
Did
if you see him. He's around town.
For the Stampeders?
Yeah.
Or
Well, he was on the roster.
practice?
He got No. He played. He was being paid.
He was
Him
on
and
the
I
active
talked about
roster?
that.
Okay.
Grey Cup champion receiver Rob Bresciani. So that's been going on in Canada for 40 years. How do you feel about the NFL or NCAA
I think it's
ruling?
the right way to go. I think it's tremendously
So do I.
stupid to think that a player can fall back to college if
Actually,
you
hang
can't
on.
make the NFL and get on with your life, son. Are you good enough or not? Because if you're not, then
But
stay
these
in
were-
school.
But these were undrafted players that didn't sign. They had tryouts. Period.
If you think you're good enough to get to the NFL and you're not, you're done. I completely agree with what they've done.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just feel like that wasn't the rule before. So those kids went and tried out the NFL
Well, because
thinking
of
they could
nil,
come back, and then they changed the rule.
It's because of nil. It's because of NIL.
Why is it because of that?
Because these kids think that they're still going to get money if they go back to a program. Because the school will want to pay them. Well, they're probably going to get paid more than what they would sitting on a practice roster of an NFL team. So they think, oh, you know what? I don't make it. I can just go back. Well, no, you can't.
Well, now you can't. So, like I say, they
They
changed the rule.
The SEC said, no, you're not. You can think you are, but you're not.
I just feel like if that was the rule before the kids made their decision, they wouldn't have done it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's
Well, this
unfair
just tells
about
you
it.
how bad the state of college football is right now.
Oh.
Because they can't even figure out if a guy should get another year of eligibility. Like Trinidad Chambliss and Diego Pavia and stuff like that.
Well, and here's the thing. Carlos in Indiana writes in and says, so a player could leave college early, spend a year in the NFL, and then go back to college? Well, number one, no. Number two, they didn't. They went to training camp, period. Now, had they made the team in the NFL, we're not probably having it. They didn't want to go back to college, but the problem is they got cut. So they took a gamble. So that also is life, I guess. And that still doesn't change your mind, obviously, then. You're not moving off this. Yeah. Okay, cool, cool.
Nope.
Vancouver Eric says, Scruffy and RP in the morning. Great AM radio show. Trust me, I agree. Eric in Virginia says, unspoken rule, Rod, NCAA. Bro, we're talking about the law, courts. There's a difference between what's written black and white and what's unspoken. This was an unspoken rule. Then that doesn't hold up. So now they've put it in black and white. That's the problem that I have. They changed the rule on the kids. But whatever. It's not my issue. It's not my problem. Shoot. And the time we have left, John in Edmonton's very persistent. He says, your perspective, Rod and Scruffy, why does the NHL remain so committed to restoring a team in Phoenix or Atlanta? You want to answer that?
I'll leave that to you.
No, well, you go ahead because you're going to leave right away.
Because I don't have the answer. Because I'm clueless as to why they think those markets are going to work. Because they're not.
So you're like with John. Okay, well, there's no good answer to it.
I just don't know why we keep going into markets where they fail. By the way, can I bring something up before I leave? If
Go ahead.
Rogers decides that they're going to get rid of Elliot Friedman and Kevin Bieksa, please tell me why I should even consider watching on Saturday night until the game starts. Elliot Friedman will be at TSN within 24 hours of him being legally allowed to be there. And if Kevin Bieksa goes to Amazon like the rumor has it, can you imagine him and Chris Pronger together, Roddy?
Pronger's the best analyst out there going, period, right now.
I agree.
Period.
I agree.
Well, just because their contracts aren't renewed doesn't mean, or like they don't have word yet. I'm waiting one way or the other. I'm not wasting my time on it. I mean, I think we can all see the way Rogers does things ain't that cool. So, anyways, thanks for switching over to Wednesdays, Mitch. This has been fantastic. Your Vancouver fan base says adieu.
See you, Vancouver. It's been nice.
We'll be right back after this on the RP Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Okay, welcome back. Back in the Golden Ticket Sports Center. 10-ish more days, and then I'll be back in Florida. God knows where we go from there, but everything's great. And Wayne writes in from BC. He says, I'm so glad you're doing well in BC, Rob, but I think you've always had a good following in BC. Scruffy just proved the thing that drives me the craziest. He, like all Sask people, just can't see outside the 306 bubble. He never leaves it, and that's totally fine. But did you see me trying to convince Mitch that we had listeners outside of the borders of Saskatchewan? He couldn't or wouldn't consider that. And here's a great example. It's not new. There's this thing called the internet, the World Wide Web. 2012, we're broadcasting from the Grey Cup in Toronto. Carm Cartieri's with me, my color commentator. We're doing the sports cage all day long, and my good friend Greg Zahn says, hey, I got 6 passes for my party tonight at the Steam Whistle Brewery. Give them away on your show. I said, yeah, no problem. Carm's like, well, how the hell's that going to happen? All your listeners in Regina. I'm like, can you just leave it to me? So we go on the air, do our show, the radio show, the Rider radio show from Toronto. Well, all the Rider fans or whoever, all the CFL fans that were there were listening on their phones, and we were flooded with entries to get free tickets to Zahn's party, which we gave away in like 2 seconds. I'm like, you can't get the fact that we're not just broadcasting within that. You can't. I don't know if they ever will get it. I don't know. It's as my counselor Rand says, frustration is a choice. Don't be frustrated, Rod. They're not getting it. Move on. They're not getting it. So the special words that I had to the people of Alberta, specifically Calgary, Vancouver, is thank you for the kind reception that we received over the last week. Theo's golf tournament, overtime hockey lanes, the BC Lions practice. On Monday, the Lions asked me to move out there. They weren't offering me a job. People don't also, they don't get that. They're like, come out here. We got the ocean. We got I can read you the text. We have the ocean. We have sports. It would be great for a guy like you. We got mountains. They're not saying quit the show, and they're saying, come do your show out here. And I said, I might take you up on that. So anyways, it's just, yeah, everybody hit the like button. Thank you. Scott in Vancouver says there's rumors there may soon be a sports radio station on the Vancouver FM dial. Well, I know the guys kind of wanted to get into this on Monday's show, some of the viewers, but I just was aghast. I said I would learn more about the Vancouver media scene when I was at the game at BC Place in the press box on Sunday, and I did learn a lot, and it ain't good. There was 3 media there, and they were all writers. No radio, no TV. That place used to be jammed. Day before, no media at Lions practice. And then the podcasts that there are, they're all about the Canucks. Just like in Calgary, they're all about the Flames. So, and there was the hockey people who were unbelievably nice to me in Calgary, too. So anyways. Rich in Edmonton says, we have insane house prices. Well, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, in the text. Yeah, he didn't say that. Yeah, anyways, they're all having their little debate. I'm just telling you, thank you for the warm reception. The 306 people, that's where I'm from. That's who I am, like the Paul Brandt song. But they just don't understand that maybe there's other people that might like this show. So thanks. And by the way, with all the ballers that are asking to get on this show every day, David Benefield's the latest. He'll be with us next hour, Mr. Furious. I mean, it makes my heart cry when I think of the wonderful history of Canadian sport, not just the CFL, even though, I had the front row seat for it, but that story is not being told. The media's just been gashed. And the guy said, you'll be happy to get back to Florida. It's just so, it's different in Florida. 6 all sports radio stations. People still read the newspaper. That's a thing there. It's just different. I don't know what happened in Canada, but with the media, I don't know. I have an idea, which you guys are talking about. Are they considering getting rid of Scott? Rich in Edmonton says, are they considering getting rid of Elliot Friedman? What's actually happening at Rogers, from what I can see, they've been paying these guys an outrageous amount of money for a real long time. And now everything's about cost cutting. So I'm sure there's a lot of guys there looking over their shoulder. I'll just quote Doug McLean. He doesn't South Florida hockey guy. You all know Doug McLean from the Cats and Bolts podcast, taking the Panthers to the Stanley Cup final in 1996 as coach, and also, of course, on Sportsnet. And we stood in front of the studio in Boca Raton, Florida, and he's like, Rod, they're paying Kip $1 million a year. Kipper, he'd have done it for half that. They're paying me $500,000 a year. I'd have done it for a quarter of that. They've just been blowing money, these guys at the top. Just like ESPN now with $60 million a year for Pat McAfee, you'd probably do it for 6, a tenth of what they're paying him. Dumb, dumb, dumb. And now they're backtracking on all those decisions and letting everybody go. But guess who they're not letting go? Themselves. Scott says, "Oh, Rogers is struggling financially." God, I don't know. That's their problem, not mine. I'll say it again. That's their problem, not mine. And I People want to hear sports here, not media woes. 902-518-3033. When you guys were talking about the Scruffy and I didn't even get into the NFL at all, which is unfortunate. But as I sit here today, what are the big NFL stories? Covered them on Monday. The San Francisco 49ers owner went to jail for getting a hooker. I'd rather not talk about that. The Cleveland Browns quarterback situation, we discussed that with Khalil Carter. Right now, other than the NFL games, which we can get into next hour, there's 4 games on Thursday. I'll get a little more in it. Why don't you tell me what you're seeing in the NFL? That'll help me a lot with prep for next hour. But I will say this. Sometimes I feel here every day. Is this thing on? Uniglobe Carefree Travel. I went around the concourse before the game. Janice was with me. I said I was out there doing business. We met to talk about the recovery industry and what she's doing with youth athletes, current athletes, what I'm doing with retired athletes in the recovery world. Could we work together? A synergy there. There was business that way. And she said to me, what do you think about Vancouver? I said, it was Sunday. She goes, aside from the obvious issues that we're seeing in downtown Vancouver, what do you think? I said, I love it. I love Vancouver. Always have. I could live here. Monday, I get the text. Hey, would you ever consider moving out here? Is it 111? And where was I? We talked about the Blue Jays. Oh, yeah. Point 1, Blue Jays. Point 2, CFL Player of the Week, Nathan Rohr. Point 3 was to be NFL. We didn't get to that. Point 4 was the NHL Metropolitan Division predictions, which spawned a lot of discussion there. Point 5, college football, deeming if you go to an NFL, if you even try out for an NFL team, you're not coming back to college. It would be nice if they'd made that rule ahead of those kids getting screwed that now don't get to go back to college. That wasn't a rule. Now it is. Sucks to be you. Welcome to life. Was point 5. But Mitch said he would leave to me why the NHL wants to go back to Phoenix. And the reason, I mean, honestly, they shouldn't. But you put 30 years in a place. There's a huge NHL footprint, obviously, in Arizona. A lot of great players were born there. Matthew and Brady Tkachuk. Well, for sure, Matthew was born in Phoenix. It's a huge market. 6 million people. They have the facilities. I mean, it's not ideal that it's in Glendale, of course, but I think they miss the NHL in Arizona. That's what the people there tell me. And Atlanta as well. I know it's failed there twice, but listen, with my friend Gary Drummond owning the Coyotes at one time, I think I've told you, he flew me down there to meet with his people, and they were all American people in the offices, and they were telling me why it was never going to work. So I fly back to Canada, meet with Gary. He's like, how did it go? I said, terrible. You got to fire them all. Because if they actually all think it's not going to work, I'll guarantee you it's not going to work. But when they went to Tampa Bay and Sunrise and LA, for God's sakes, or Dallas, look at all those thriving hockey markets. It hasn't been done right in Atlanta. It was never done right in Phoenix. I can tell you because I saw it firsthand. If it's done right, it'll work. Nobody bitches about San Jose as a hockey market. Nobody ever has. So if they go back there and they do it right, I think it could work, and that's the plan. That's why, because they got the people, they have the TV contracts, they don't want to be in Canada. I'm sorry, they won't tell you that. I will. And we have BC sponsors. The Quick Six Show topics and the warm-up are brought to you by Uniglobe Carefree Travel Group, the preferred travel partner of the RP Show, and the BC Lions. When it comes to sports trips, group travel, or your next great getaway, trust the pros who handle every detail so you can enjoy the journey. Contact Neil Chark with Uniglobe Carefree Travel. I mean, here's the thing. There's just nobody talking about these teams is all. And I don't know where the Stampeders fall into that. I don't hear from them. But I told you on standing in the practice field with the Lions, it's different, but I'm rolling with it. I'm learning. I'm not stupid. I said to the PR guy, Matt Baker, what can I take photos of here? He's like, well, this is fine. Don't take photos of that. Okay, fine. I never used to ask. That's why I got kicked out of Red Blacks practice back in the day by the coach, Jamie Elizondo. He's like, I stood in the corner of the end zone, not thinking, during the Red Blacks walkthrough, taking pictures. Jamie Elizondo literally walked right up to me, their head coach, and just went, what are you doing? Oh, is this a problem? And then I was asked to leave. which became a huge problem. And I was like, I've been kicked out of nicer places than this. Now I ask. Now I'm humble. Now I go hat in hand. And I don't cause problems. And people seem to like it. Virginia Eric says, Rod, did you read the article about Jeff Fisher and Vince Young about their Netflix documentary? I did not. Oh, Richard Evanson says, travel issues yesterday, RP? Yeah, if you call being on a plane at 11:30 at night on a Monday, being ready to go, and then told we're canceling the flight, we'll catch up with you. We'll be in touch. And sleeping in the airport in Vancouver overnight Monday, getting up Tuesday and flying home exactly when we were supposed to be on the air. Yeah, that's what happens when we're a small outfit. I know it doesn't seem like it. We'll be right back with Benefield, an hour or two right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Please do not adjust your sets. It's the RP Show back in living color. welcoming viewers across Las Vegas and Nevada on Silver State Sports. They're so good to us. It's hour 2 on Game Plus streaming, the RP Show YouTube channel, podcast, of course, in WQVC Radio. I'm looking at the bio of our guest. Let's get it out of the way now. Mr. Furious used to paint his face when he played and starred with the BC Lions and with the San Francisco 49ers. David Benefield will be joining us from Los Angeles, California. Listed weight 111 kilograms. What? Mr. Furious, David Benefield, will be joining us in the next segment. I was looking at it. Born 1958 in Los Angeles, California, 6'3", 245. Played at Cal State Northridge. Had a stint with the San Francisco 49ers in 1996, but really, frankly, made his name in Ottawa, BC, Winnipeg, and Sask. That's where I got to know him. His son, Ty, is the safety for the LSU Tigers, and he was just last week named the number 1 prospect for next season's CFL draft. You want to come on the air and talk about it? I said, let's do it, Mr. Furious. And so that's our guest for Prairie Panels. He's coming up in the next segment. We got a lot to get to here, obviously. And actually, this is working out just fine. I said, can I get some of the NFL stories from you viewers at 902-518-3033, the Western Dodge text line. From trucks to SUVs, Western Dodge has what you're looking for. Visit their showroom or online at westerndodge.ca. I said NFL topics, and now would be a good time to send them in. But so many of them were talking about, why was there no show Tuesday here on Silver State or streaming? Because my travel out of Vancouver, my flight at 11:30 p.m., we're all on the plane. Frankly, it's my biggest travel nightmare, or second biggest. We're all on the plane, ready to go. Pilot comes on and says, yeah, sort of tell you, but we're canceling the flight. We'll be in touch. And we spent the night, I slept in the airport and had to fly home during Tuesday's show. Hello, welcome to life. Anyways, I was just telling the story, and I'll say it now. Why not? I'll open it. It was not that big of a deal, I didn't think, but I said I had a few special words for Vancouver viewers and Calgary viewers, because what I learned, and the American viewers too, but where have I been the last week? Calgary and Vancouver, and the outpouring of support was unbelievable from the people out there watching this show. And our Hour 1 co-host, God bless him, I love him. You know he's family to me, Scruffy. Can't get his mind around the fact that we have viewers outside of Saskatchewan. I feel like giving him the data to show him, I don't think that would even matter. But what the Flames alumni said was real nice. But in BC, where they invited me out for the weekend, come out to the practice, and then when it was all over, said, why don't you move out here? Maybe I will. I don't know. It's not on my radar at this time. But anyways, I was just telling a story about how I was treated at the practice facility on Saturday in Surrey. This is my long-winded story. To Vancouver, Eric writes, and he says, did Buck Pierce think you were a rider spy? That's the head coach of the BC Lions, who I've known for a good 20 years. Buck was fine with me. As a matter of fact, what it said in the text on Monday was, we don't care what happened with the Rough Riders. You're our guy. Would you consider moving out to Vancouver? We got mountains, we have the ocean, we have sports. Perfect for a guy like you. It's just a nice thing to read. But anyways, I looked at the head coach, because he's no different than any other head coach. And I could just see, because I see things differently than everybody else. Always have, but specifically sports. And he was scanning every single person along the chain link fence at that practice, all the way around to see who was there. And I guess I would too if I was in his shoes. I've never been in his shoes. That's just the way the coaches are. And I'm like, I would hate to live that way. And what the coaches always told me, because I spent 20 years in the game, I used to say, because guys were getting nailed, NFL, Belichick, our league, Don Matthews, for spying. Right, at walkthroughs and practices and all. I said, does this go on? And our coaches would say, oh, yeah, another, but we don't. I actually believed them. Jeff the Stampeders fan says, that's the reality of air travel in 20. Back to the positive vibes, because I'm seeing people saying there's so much hate out online. Not on this show, not at all. So people were crapping all over Air Canada for canceling the flight, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I don't bitch about the airlines, but WestJet did personally, the other Canadian airline, say, we hope you have a great time at the game, Rod. I posted that to I couldn't believe that they would write me and say that, WestJet. And then they also said, thanks for nicknaming Nathan Rourke WestJet, the reigning CFL Player of the Week and the starting quarterback for the BC Lions. And when they say that he's the face of the league, he's on the cover of the media guide, which, by the way, I'm bringing that back for you, DeBuck. The CFL media guide. You're welcome. It's like 2 pounds. It's probably going to put me over when I check in at the airport to fly home in 10 days, but it's worth it. Vancouver Eric says, could a guy walk up and watch a Dolphin practice? Not on your life, bro. They have a lottery in Miami to sell tickets to get in to watch the Miami Dolphins practice. It's in an enclosed Baptist Health practice facility across the parking lot from Hard Rock Stadium. You can't even you try to get in there to watch a Dolphins practice, you would be tasered. So that is one of the beautiful things between the CFL and the NFL is that you can just walk up and watch a practice. It doesn't make the coaches any less paranoid. It's what they are. They're paranoid. So anyways, yeah, Rich from Edmonton says, sounds like WestJet, right? No, it wasn't WestJet that largely stranded us. It was Air Canada, but let's just say I'm not bitching at the airlines. What's the point? As my mom would say, might as well piss in the wind. Here's another one. Kirk from Toronto writes in, says, hey, Rod, in the ongoing trade war with the U.S., Trump touts changing Lake Ontario's name to Lake America and said he would never interfere with Canadians speaking French. How about fingers up? I had a buddy call me yesterday from South Florida. He's like, when are you coming home? We had a long talk. He's like, how about this stuff with Trump and Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister? I said, I'm not even following it, man. So he told me, we laugh. You understand what he's doing. Ignore him. They can't. I always knew that they hated Trump in Canada. What I've also learned this summer, and was a meme coming in of hour one, Canadians hate the Kachuk brothers. They hate him. I learned that this summer. Did I tell you that the warm-up is brought to you by Uniglobe Carefree Travel? And what the hey? Score a touchdown in the Caribbean. Join CFL legends Adam Bighill, Willie Jefferson, and Jake Ceresna, along with assembled fans, on a 7-day cruise departing from Fort Lauderdale, February 20th. A once-in-a-lifetime experience for CFL fans. Prices from $18.99, cruise only. Contact Neil Chark at Uniglobe Travel, Neil at uniglobecarefree.ca. They also sponsor the warm-up, as I said. I met Neil at the Lions game. We had a great time. Met his son, Elon. The deadline to secure your cabins is in less than a month. So you're thinking about it. Wayne in BC, you love the cruises. Get off your wallet, Wayne. Okay. David Benefield coming up, NFL, CFL alum. And his son, Ty Benefield, starting safety for the LSU Tigers. Number one is it takes us 7 minutes to get to the quick six show topics. The big story, because I'm in Canada, don't worry, it'll be over soon. The Blue Jays being the big story, but mistakes proved costly for Toronto Tuesday night in a 5-3 loss to the surging Kansas City Royals at Rogers Center. Vladdy made a throwing error in KC's 2-run sixth inning. Nathan Lucas was thrown out at second base to end the game after hitting a 2-run single. Toronto didn't take advantage of its opportunities in the opener of the 3-game series, going 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. And as I said in the commentary this morning, I've seen online that the Blue Jays need to go 800 the rest of the way, 800 winning percentage the rest of the way to have a shot at a wild card, and they've gone 441 all year. So why would you think they would double their winning percentage? They're done. So soon it will all be over. That has been fun to watch. Point 2 was CFL Week 12. Put that to bed, and Week 13 upcoming. Scruffy and I made our picks. We are in agreement on all of them. We took Montreal to win at Winnipeg Friday, Calgary to win at home over Hamilton Saturday, Rough Riders to beat Toronto at home in Sask Saturday, and we also took the BC Lions to win at Ottawa Sunday. You're welcome. Point 3, well, on the picks, how could I miss that? Not only are they brought to you by Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Saloon, Pump Jack's Cathedral, Pump Jack's Weyburn, come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. They've also renewed for another year. So for all those people that are telling me that you are going into our sponsors and telling them that you're there because of the RP show, I can't thank you enough. What do I owe you? Not only are you telling me you're doing that, the owners of the companies are telling me you're doing that, and that's why they've renewed. Suds Full Service Car Wash has renewed. They bring you the Rod Squad newsletter, the Monday Morning Goalie Column, hour 1 of the RP show, and Pump Jacks is back for another year too. So those are our picks. Point 3 is NFL preseason notes, and I feel like there's just not a whole lot going on there right now. Utah Darren says Trump's not too popular in the U.S. either, Rod. Oh, trust me, I know. And I'm sorry I even brought it up. It's the damn Kirk in Toronto who, from time to about once a month, he'll bring up a political thing. So I just read it because he's a P1. But I don't enjoy the discussion at all. Virginia Eric writes in and says, Blue Jays coming back to earth. Hashtag they're done. Well, they were high, then they were back to earth, then they were high again, and now that, what a year. Scott in Vancouver says Cleveland or Texas. What about them? What did I miss? So the NFL game's Thursday. This is also what I'm getting. We're basically a little over a month into the NFL season, basically being back, which is the start of training camps, and then NFL. This is preseason week 3 right now. Thank God they shortened it, because I'm getting the sense right now that people are already fatigued with NFL coverage in terms of let's just get to the games. Which reminds me, you're going to be ordering pizza for NFL Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, whenever they play. Mondays, of course, you're going to want to do it from the Mad Greek Eatery. Experience authentic Greek flavors, plus pizza, ribs, whatever your heart desires at the Mad Greek Eatery. But football and pizza go together like peas and carrots, as you know. Research their menu at themadgreekeatery.com. We welcome the Mad Greek Johnny E. treat us every day on here as well. But I said, I asked people, what are the big stories? The 49ers owner being jailed for getting a hooker? Not good. The Browns quarterback decision, we dissected that on Monday. The week 3 of the NFL preseason kicks off on Thursday. And we'll watch as much as we can. It's interesting. I have not watched DAZN since I bought it to watch the first Raiders preseason game against the Arizona Cardinals. I'm feeling like I'm going to get my money's worth, but I have not opened it since, is my point. College football. Oh, yeah, and 111. Thank you, Carlos in Indiana. I feel like we've already talked about that already. Things are coming together. They really are. Sometimes they don't feel like it, but they are. Hold on. Bad times don't last. Unfortunately, neither do good times. So enjoy those and realize the bad times don't last either. You're welcome. Free advice for the day. Virginia Eric says, week 0, Rod, NCAA, Virginia versus NC State. You only know that because your team's playing, but that's fine. We just slow down. As I said, I haven't opened DAZN since week 1 of the NFL preseason. That might change this weekend. We'll see. Here's one for you. After a season of broadcasting this NCAA baseball, summer collegiate baseball, traipsing all over Western Canada, Calgary to Vancouver, and now back with 10 days before I go back to Florida. Guess what people are saying now? What are you going to do now? What do you mean? What are you going to do with the rest of your time? Maybe relax, bro. Maybe I'll take my foot off the gas. Is that an option for you, for me? Maybe I'll just chill out. Where was I? Oh. For those that say it's too early to talk hockey, you need to go to another room. The daily poll is for EMJ Marketing. Keynote Speaker Bureau. Transform your event with an all-star keynote speaker from our roster at emjmarketing.com. The poll question is, what's the greatest Dolly Parton song of all time? She passed away at the age of 80 yesterday. So I went to CNN, which I rarely do, fully expecting that they would have wall-to-wall coverage of the Dolly Parton passing, and they did. Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper talking about it. And their stories of being around Dolly. They say she played the Craven Country Jamboree. If she did, I don't remember it, but I don't remember a lot of things from there. Everything that I watched on CNN last night, I already knew from being a former country music DJ as I was, and then watching the Dolly documentary on Netflix, just the greatest. They call her the Queen of Country for a reason. Can somebody update the poll? Because I can't see it at the moment. The poll question is, what's the greatest Dolly Parton song of all time? Your options, 9 to 5. That's what I voted for. That's my favorite for her. Jolene, which has been voted the greatest country music song of all time. Forget the greatest Dolly song. The greatest song of all time, country music, Jolene. Number 3, I Will Always Love You, or Other. And again, I have not seen an update on the poll results. If somebody wants to provide those, that would be great. I just can tell you what I voted for. I feel like Jolene was getting a lot, and I get it. I can see why. But, she said she's written thousands of songs. She had thousands more rattling around in her head that she never even got to. What a woman. So that's the poll question. And then the hockey, it's not too early to talk hockey. FanDuel's NHL Metropolitan Division prediction is Carolina 1, Washington 2, New Jersey 3, Philadelphia 4, then the cutoff line, Columbus 5, Pittsburgh 6, New York Rangers 7, Islanders 8. I'm just dropping that in there. We'll pick it up later, but people are like, can't believe the Islanders are last. Well, somebody's got to be. They fired their coach with 4 games to go in the regular season last year, and it didn't work. It's actually not that hard to believe when you think about it. And then the whole college football thing, which we'll get to with Benefield next, with the NCAA now ruling that you go even try out for an NFL team, you can't come back. I get it. It's like saying to your girlfriend, you want to go have a look around, go ahead, but don't come home. That's what the NCAA did. Benefield's son, LSU Tigers safety, top-ranked draft prospect for the CFL. Lots to get to with Mr. Fury is coming up right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your Apple, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Time for the guest segment brought to you by our friends at Prairie Panel. They said today they're so proud to be with us every day. If you're building a shop, barn, rink, or commercial space, if you're building a rink, Prairie Panels is the place to go to. They design high-quality insulated wall and roof panels designed for durability and energy efficiency. Check them out at prairiepanels.ca or check out their Facebook page. David Benefield, Mr. Furious, joins us. I read off your resume earlier, your soon-to-be Hall of Fame resume, David. Here's the beautiful thing. You're here to talk about your kid, not yourself.
I know.
For like the first time ever, LSU Tigers safety, number 1 draft prospect for the CFL. I'll say congratulations on that. How excited are you?
I'm literally on the edge of my seat. It's, from the time he left Green Lutheran, it was like, what are you going to do at Boise? What are you going to do? And you're on the edge of your seat, you're watching, and then he's playing against Penix and he's still on the field. He's only 17. And then, 3 years at Boise with amazing coaches and great people and fans. And all of a sudden now it's just like, we're at LSU. We're in the SEC, Rod. It's like, and you're with, you're LSU. It's like, are you kidding me? And the people on the phone when we were going through recruiting, it was like, Dad, I think we have to go to Georgia. Okay. And then, another school calls, an ACC school. Miami's looking for Ty to fit in there. And then all these schools, and I'm just like, really? And then my wife laughs and cracks up. She's like, he's pretty good, I guess, huh? And then we're like sitting back going, we're like, yeah, I think he is pretty good. And that's how we talk about it as a family. We're like, Ty's pretty good. And then my daughter, who's at UW playing volleyball, she's been injured, poor thing, for 2 years, and she can't wait to get on the floor. So it's just like we're just constantly either going to an airport to watch a game, or we're listening to people talk about our kid, to talk about Ty, like, what's he doing now? And it's just like, it's crazy. I mean, we're honored and so lucky, blessed. But LSU, I mean, we have think about it. The DB coach nearly got stolen by the Saints. You got Noah Joseph, who knows everything. And then you got the DB godfather, Corey Raymond, who has produced these legendary players. And I'm like, and you guys are going to be looking after my son. You're going to teach my kid how to be a DB. It's just like, wow. Like, and Ty still has such a ways to go because I think he's still growing. I mean, it's like last time I saw him, Rod, when we were here and he's learning how to surf, he was like, he's 6'3" and he was 225 because he's taller than I am. And I'm not like a short 6'2". I'm not like, want to be 6'1" guy. I'm shrinking, of course, like we all are, but he's taller than I am. And he's 220.
Well,
220 now.
Let me just say something. I got 2 buddies whose kids are in the SEC. Yourself and Matt DeBuck, who you played against. You may not remember, CFL alum receiver with the Argos and Bombers. His kid, Trey DeBuck, is a long snapper for Texas. And Steve Sarkisian.
Okay.
So these are my teams, the Tigers and the Longhorns. And he has already been named all-conference, all-something. He hasn't even played a game yet. But for you didn't even bring up Lane Kiffin, the mercurial Lane Kiffin.
Well, and that's crazy because check this out. So my daughter's playing volleyball at Redondo Union. This is a bunch of years ago now. And his daughter's playing at Miracosta. They meet. They get to know each other. These girls get to know each other. And Addie says, you should tell your dad to get my brother. And it's just like, what? It's like such a small world, and then if you throw in all the other football players, Willie McGinnis, Pat Barnes, all these guys, it's just like, it's amazing. But Lane Kiffin, I worked out for his dad when he was in Tampa. I worked out for his dad, and Shelton Quarles, of course, who played with the BC Lions with me. He was down there, legendary linebacker, right? So it's just like this small world, and Lane was like probably just a kid at that time. Like, it's amazing. It's just amazing how small the world of sports is.
Yeah, that's why you got to be a good guy. And so where does he fit in, Ty, with LSU? What do you know?
Well, he's the starter.
Wow.
Lane said that he is ultra elite, and he's meshed with all his teammates, and Ty, knowing Ty's never really been a 5-star kid, I guess. Like they now label all our kids 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. Ty came in a middle of nowhere, and as a quarterback, changed positions, had a penchant to hitting, which we always thought would be the toughest part, but he likes to hit and covers great ground. He's really athletic. So now it's just like, go ahead and do what you do at LSU now. And so it's awesome to watch. It's for instance, I was watching when Ty was playing with Boise, sing with Robert Holland, whose son Javon Holland, from Burnaby. Javon, we're watching Javon, who's now at the Giants, and Robert's just watching. And Robert knows everything. I mean, he's just so deep in the whole DB world and football world, and he's just like, Ty's just out there as an athlete right now. He's out athleting kids, and then you look at it and you're like, okay, who do you play that's big? He got to play against like Tyler Warren from Penn State, and I'm asking him what's that like, and he's just like, they're just so deep, and then my friends are like, Dave, when you're at Penn State level, pretty much the top 3 guys are all gonna be going at some point to the NFL, and Ty's like a kid playing against Tyler Warren, and then we go to Notre Dame, and he's one of the few people that caused Jeremiah Love to fumble, right? And hearing his name called the first 8 plays tackled by Ty Benefield was just unreal. Like, it was just unreal just watching him play in South Bend. And now we're going to Death Valley, where it's just, have you seen that NFL Netflix? That Netflix on SEC?
Yeah, that's
oh
amazing. It's so
isn't it?
good.
And so,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sitting up there watching it, and Ty goes, yeah, his buddy Weeks, middle linebacker, is, they're talking about he dates Lane Kiffin's daughter. He's like the starting middle linebacker. And I'm like, oh, well, his dad texted me. I'm like, wow. And I have to see who it was. So I go and look at this. I'm like, okay. And, it's just such a weird, wild world now for Ty, especially. We're just along for the ride. We're just like, hey, you do what you do. But
you should be
different.
Well, you've done your work. You've done a great job. Tremendous young man. And listen, I guess now would be a good time. And for those that just tuned in, NFL, CFL alum, great David Benefield here. We're talking about his son, Ty, with the LSU Tigers, #1 CFL rated prospect for next year's draft. So we had a lot of time here. We got about 10 more minutes. But you mentioned, or I'll bring it up, CFL, #1 pick. I just came from Vancouver. I had a wonderful time with the BC Lions on the weekend. Great people, man. Running that outfit.
Yes, they are.
Everybody. Yeah. What's your take on your Ty was born in Vancouver and your daughter too. What's your take on the current BC Lions sitch?
It's I wish I were home to be able to be really involved in it, to figure out like what's going on, figure out a place, to figure out how to help, how to, but you can't really help. The team's going to be the team. What people don't understand is there's so much talent out there, but it is so difficult to get into the CFL. And if everyone down here just automatically thinks you just fall into the CFL, well, you don't. When you think about it, if you're not part of that group that goes into the NFL, that's drafted there, free agents that are lucky to get in there, everybody else that's really good that didn't get looked at in that window, you got to fall into a hole that big to get into the CFL, right? And that's not easily done. I mean, it is not easily done at all. So you wind up sitting there going, you're watching the next guys as a CFL fan. You're watching great talent. You're watching great talent. I mean, think about the coaches we've had in the CFL. I mean, everybody. We've had guys that were outright says. I mean, you mentioned Sarkisian. We played against each other.
Of course.
We played against each other. Look at Mo Kelly with we have Mo Kelly in Seattle. We have um, oh our our halfback strength coach with the Dallas Cowboys. Oh God, he's gonna kill me. Can't remember his name, but we've got people there. We've got so many people there. So it's you know, it's just like it's amazing. Like the people. So we got talent, and we need to figure out how to make that work. How do we make that the talent shine? And let's get off of our butts and stop being afraid to say this person is great. That's the other part. We don't want to say anyone's great because
Right.
we're scared to say someone's great. We don't want to say, uh, Jackson Finley's great. We don't want to say he's the second coming of because we constantly slight our own players. We want to keep them down here instead of blowing them up.
Right. I mean, he was making big plays there. I was there Sunday for the Riders-Lions game. But the one guy they are saying is great is the man I call WestJet, Nathan Rourke. CFL's calling him Kid Canada. I'm like, oh my God, what is this, 1997? Can we come up with some Kid Canada? Come on, WestJet. That guy's special, man. And I enjoyed it. It was yeah. Go ahead.
We can't come up with a better name than that. Come on now. Kid Canada? What is this, a DC comic from the 50s?
I'm just saying.
I mean, come on.
Well,
come on.
I like WestJet. WestJet thanked me for calling him WestJet. So I'm just saying, Nathan Rourke is the one guy. Harold Nash. Is that who you're thinking
Harold
of?
Nash, thank you.
Mike from Winnipeg's watching at Ice Time Sports. Thank you, Mike. Harold, how about that? See, this is so great. Yeah. You got it, Mike. He says strength coach for the Dallas Cowboys. You'd think I would know that. We have 7 minutes left. Where else you want to go on this, David? Because I could ask you a million questions.
Go ahead. I mean, hey, your show. Ask me questions, bro.
Well, I try to appease the viewer. Scott in Vancouver says, how do you feel about the 0-10 Ottawa Redblacks? What's your take? Are you following that? 0-10.
I loved playing in Ottawa when we were there. We had such a colorful team, and we got after it at practice. And I don't know what's broken there, but I know there's talent there. There's always talent there. It's just, it comes down to it meshing with the coaches. Coaches, sometimes some of these coaches want to come in and just put their stamp on everything, even though the personnel doesn't match the stamp. You got to let the personnel play to its highest potential in order to get the most out of the individual, and that helps the team win. If you don't want to do that, then you're the one that blows it. Like think about the guys like Katie Williams, colorful guy, outside backer. Let him play his game. That's why he got to go to the league. Shelton Quarles was getting moved all over the place. He goes to the league, look what happens. He's captain of the Super Bowl, one of the best defenses ever. You script your defense or your offense to the personnel that you've got, because you can't sit there with that rotating locker room, temporary lockers, as we're trying to find players during the regular season. You got to do that during the off season. And there's communication gaps, I think. You're not talking to the head coach. You're bringing in talent as a scout, but the head coach wants this guy, and the D coordinator or O coordinator wants this kind of guy. So you got to have communication, because otherwise you're wasting everyone's time. And there's talent out there, but there's only so much really great talent. I'm sorry to say, there's only so much. And a lot of people think you can just get the fastest guy that runs out of the bar. That's your running back. No, maybe they would say that in the 70s. I think Rita said that one time to me. And I was like, dude, no, there's talent. You got to find the right talent.
Henry Burris was on here 10 days ago saying it's not a talent issue in Ottawa, it's culture. And it's exactly kind of what you're saying. It's kind of what you're saying. Okay, so we covered that. NFL, we're heading into week 3 of the preseason. What's sticking out to you from the league right now?
I love the fact that Myles Garrett's in L.A. That's going to be something special to watch. For some reason, I'm curious to see what the Carolina Panthers are going to do, because I just want to see what's going to happen with them this year. And then after, and then, and really, I'm not gonna lie. It's like there are these names that pop up, and you're trying to watch everybody. But I've got a defensive lineman, Anthony Jones, with the Oregon, playing with the Oregon Ducks first year. I've got James Tank Carrington playing for Oklahoma this year. He may get playing time, and we got that's everything. I mean, the NFL is secondary. It really is. It's like I can't even begin, because when you start thinking about it, you start thinking, oh my God, maybe there's a place Ty will find a play next year. And then what's that going to be like for the family? Where's a fit for him? I mean, and it's so hard to tell who's doing what in the NFL safety wise these days, and what teams like. It's just like, where do you want to play? Where are you going to get the opportunity to play? Hope you find a spot, and will you fit the scheme? That's it. And it's hard to tell who's doing what.
Vancouver Eric writes that he says, I think Benefield just nailed the Ottawa issue. Well, that doesn't surprise me. He's the greatest analyst that's been on television for the CFL. I mean, you said last time you were on, the stuff, you don't even know how good the stuff is that you say. And you explain how hard it is once you get into a game and things start going wrong from a schematic up. Like, say they caught you on something, the opposition. And you said how hard it is to change in a game. Yeah, and it's like people don't know that unless they've coached and played. And you just rolls off your tongue like it's not a big deal, but that's just you. John in Edmonton says, David's thoughts on players who don't make it in the NFL coming back to college football. You've seen this in the last day. It's been banned, Big Ten and SEC.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I'm a old school guy. So if you go to the league, you're kind of there. You're now dealing with trying to become a free agent somewhere. You don't get to go back to college. Now, but juxtapose that with Canada, where I believe the rule was 5 years. Now, all of a sudden, we're acting like 5 years is brand new, but Canada's been doing it forever, 5 years of eligibility. And I believe somebody was telling me back in the day that if you get drafted and you don't make the team, you can come back and finish that 5th year, right?
So what's the difference?
Sport world.
Yep.
So it's like, so now it's like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm torn over it, because it's like,
so am I.
What's the difference? You had 6 weeks. Maybe people are worried about the money. It's not the size. Maybe it's the age of the kids, but we're working to get that out. We can't be like Manitoba in the 90s, with 27-year-olds running around college.
But they won. And they had to lock that down. Can't do that anymore.
27. older than the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Well, they had a house, wife, kids, and they were winning. Yeah, right? They won Vanier Cups. Yeah, exactly. All right, David. This is great stuff. We're going to have to bring you back because there's more fan questions and we're pretty much out of time. But it's always great with you. Thanks for reaching out and enjoy it all. I hope to bump into you in a stadium this fall.
Hey, are you going to be down south?
I am living in Florida 9 months out of the year. You know that.
Man, we nearly were in Miami, nearly at Florida State, and we don't.
Oh, if you're in Miami,
Gators, so
okay,
we don't play the
Look
Gators.
Me up. I'm 40 miles from Miami. You know this,
and I'm
David.
Not going... Okay. All right, man.
We're out of time. Mr. Furious, thank you. The best. David Benefield joining us. We'll be right back on the RP Show. Silver State Sports, Game Plus streaming podcast, and WQVZ.
For a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band.
You know your man is working hard. He's worth a team.
Saturday, December 5th, Temple Garden Center.
Now.
The Gene Simmons Band performing your favorite classic hits. Tickets on sale now at sasktix.ca. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Get ready to make unforgettable memories with your little ones at Elmo's Got the Moves, the all-new Sesame Street live show coming to your neighborhood. Friday, December 4th, Temple Garden Center. Tickets on sale now at Sask Tigs.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Ba 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 boom boom. I'm just checking the everything. Let's do viewer takeover the rest of the way. I'm going to get to a sports update. We're going to update the poll and all the rest. But welcome to to my life with football players. I just checked the LSU schedule. Benefield knows that I live near Miami. They're not at Miami. I looked at the LSU schedule. Home to Clemson. Home to Louisiana Tech. At Ole Miss. Home to Texas A&M. Home to McNeese State. At Kentucky. Home to Mississippi State. At Auburn. I don't know what he was thinking. Home to Alabama. Home to Texas, which I think is the game that will go. November 14th. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Texas Longhorns, and LSU Tigers. That way I can knock off watching DeBuck's kid and Benefield's kid in the same stadium. That's going to be big time. At Tennessee, at Arkansas. They don't even come to Miami. Hey. Poll results. What's the greatest Dolly Parton song of all time? For EMJ Marketing Elite Keynote Speakers Bureau, which, by the way, people seeing me and Theo speaking at a hot stove the other day has now triggered all these events that we're going to be speaking at in Canada. But it's great. Go peruse their roster at emjmarketing.com. Keynote speakers. Transform your event with an elite keynote speaker like myself, Theo, these kinds of guys. Monkey see, monkey do. Poll question. Here's the results. What's the greatest Dolly Parton sing of all time? Jolene, 40%. 9 to 5, 30%. 25%, I Will Always Love You. And other, 5%. So I feel like we've nailed the top three. The question is what? And at this point now, it's just, matter of tastes, matter of opinion. 902-518-3033 is the text line. I said to join us on the cruise, the CFL PA, Cruise of a Lifetime with CFL Stars. I said, Wayne in BC, you love cruises. Come on. He writes us on the Western Dodge text line. He says, I know you're kidding, Rod, but I have other obligations then. LOL. Why would I be kidding about that? You love cruises and you love the CFL. You're the perfect client. If you're not available, that's fine. I'm just saying, if you love cruises and you love the Canadian Football League, what's better than this? And you've got less than a month now to secure your cabin. That's all I'm asking. You're going to be sitting at home February 20th, freezing your ass off, going, I should have been on that cruise. Don't be late Larry. Okay. Sports update. As we were just talking about, in the midst of college sports eligibility crisis, the Big Ten and SEC have both approved bans on former professional athletes who want to return to play in college. The ACC and Big 12 are considering the same ban. So I know this is, it affects my world, like my friends' kids and all that. I wonder how much the fans really care. And it's funny what Benefield said, the CFL's been doing it right forever. Now, he didn't have the rules totally right because they change them all the time too. But now it's, you graduate, you're done. Used to be you could be drafted, try out for a team, and if you didn't make it, go back for your final. You can't do that anymore in the CFL. Once you graduate, that's when you're eligible for the draft, and then you leave. It's probably what the NFL and NCAA should do. But I know everybody wants to bang on the CFL. They don't understand that it's a trailblazer in a lot of policies and rules. Whoever the people were running the football have always had it right. They've always had it right. Where it's dropped is other areas. Let's just put it that way. The field is set. The Wings beat the Fire on Tuesday to clinch the WNBA's 8th and final playoff spot. While the field is set, seeding is still very much up for grabs with second place Golden State and 8th place Dallas separated by just 4 games. Baseball, the last place Kansas City Royals won their 9th straight game Tuesday, becoming the AL East first AL team since the 1910 White Sox to win that many consecutive games after entering said streak at least 24 games under 500. Welcome to 2026. It doesn't say who they beat. But we know who they beat, the Blue Jays, because I was watching the game. Royals won 5. Just, why do details matter anymore? It doesn't matter. Go to the bank. Oh, the comma was 1 over. It's not that big of a deal. It's kind of a big deal. The sports update's brought to you by our friends at the Ultimate Fan Zone, your authentic MLB fan store for official jerseys, hats, T-shirts, hoodies, and more. Game day every day at UFZ. We'll be right back. Silver State Sports, Game Plus streaming, podcast, and WQVZ radio.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs guy through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help.
Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. All right, welcome back, everybody, for Overtime, brought to you by our friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I'll tell you something. I don't know about you. Well, it's not like I learned a lot today. It's been displayed for you today, some things that I've known for a long time. Just from the audience. I love this. It's the final segment. We've been rolling for 2 hours, but 1 hour on Silver State Sports across Nevada. And I appreciate everybody getting their thoughts in. Bill writes in from Brantford, Ontario. He says, excellent show today, as usual, watching from Brantford. And I'll get to more of stuff that doesn't relate in a second. Rich in Edmonton says, good stuff today, Rod. Benefield just amped about his son. I was so excited when I saw Ty Benefield come out as the number 1 rated draft prospect. And then in my inbox comes Benefield saying, let's get me on your show. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. That's great. What I say, we learned some stuff. For those that were watching from the start, Bill, it sounds like you were one. When I said, Scruffy, the floor is yours. What's on your mind? Well, people around here worried about the Riders. In other news, the sky's blue. The day ends in Y. Oh, my God. And they can't understand that there's people in Calgary watching, and Vancouver watching, and Vegas, and Virginia and Edmonton. They just can't. If you can't make somebody see something that they don't want to see, you can't do it until either they're ready to see it or that they want to see it. And Scruffy speaks for a lot of people. He don't want to see it. Riders have lost 2 in a row. Oh, my God. That's all they will think about all day, every day. It's the way it is. I've known that for a long time. So anyways, as I look at my notes here, I said I had some things. It was back in hour 1. I said I had some things for the people of Vancouver and the people of Calgary that said the most unbelievable things. What I learned in the last week is this show means a lot to a lot of people outside the province. I already know it means a lot to the people in the province of Saskatchewan, but I didn't realize after what was said to me by the Flames people, the Lions people, viewers out there, the sports media in Canada has just destroyed itself. And said, come here. Our numbers are off the charts. That's why I felt like I could show Mitch that I also know this. I could sit Mitch down, Scruffy, and show him the data where people are. Why it wouldn't matter. Eric in Virginia says, so true. Great take, Rod. And that's, part of, I hate that I know this. I'm not sure if it makes life easier. I think it does. It lowers my frustration level to know this. Rich in Edmonton says, I love the show for that. outside of Edmonton perspective. That's the thing. Like in Calgary, you could go to the podcast if you want, but all they are about the Flames. And in Vancouver, all they are about the Canucks. I like those things, but I like a lot of other things too. And then in Vegas, I was perusing the Silver State Sports YouTube page. We're featured very prominently on there. We're not just airing prime time in Vegas, but they've treated us so well. And I'll be honest, what do they say? Go where you're appreciated, not tolerated. I just had the greatest time in Calgary and Vancouver. And I was talking to one of the wives of a Vegas coach on the phone yesterday. We worked together in that recovery space, and she just said, hey, ever thinking of coming to Vegas? And I said, well, yeah, I do. We got invites to go there. We do. And we talked about that. So it just they can't see outside, man. It's just a little frustrating. Bill in Brantford says, I always watch start to finish. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. And I understand, we're not on your television for the time being, but Game Plus is going through some reshuffling. I just heard from them yesterday. We're on their YouTube channel. They're excited about that. Game Plus is going through some things. So as usual, as is my life, I'll be here every day. You know what you're going to get. And I'll be in the same mood every day. So when you're ready, I'll be here. Brent in the Bridge said he writes it and says, shows like yours open our world up, Rod. It's great people from all over like the show. They're learning what we've known all along. Thank you, Brent in the Bridge City. So it's been interesting. And that's, some guy wrote in to rodpedersen.com today, my daily commentary, and I talked about my travel snafu, why there was no show Tuesday. It was like literally my travel nightmare, sitting on a plane. I thought I was safe spending all day in Vancouver, largely at the airport. I had some podcast interviews to do, Florida NHL stuff. And I'm like, I'll get on the plane at 9:40, fly home. Bob's your uncle. Get home at midnight. No, 11:30, still sitting on the plane. The pilot comes across. Yeah, because of delays, we're past our time. We got to go. We'll be in touch. Good night. What? D-plane. Sleep on a bench, not a couch. I would have loved to have had a couch. Sleep on a bench in the Vancouver airport overnight. No show Tuesday because I'm flying at the time. Ran into a farmer from Kipling. And we navigated it together. Brett Furch used to go on my sports trips back in the day. I said, you still raising the black ones? Aberdeen Angus cattle, just so you know. That's, if you know, you know. That's rancher talk, the way that I was raised. And he smiled because I knew what breed of cattle they raise out there in Kipling. Vancouver Eric says 2 hours of RP sports talk is enough for me. Don't need. Well, that's the other. Don't need any more. Thank you, Vancouver Eric. And but that's the thing with the Lions. When I said they're great people, they're just great people. From top to, like Amar Doman. I didn't meet Amar. Met his family. He wasn't in the suite when I went there. The president, Dwayne Vinot. They treated Janice like gold. Matt Baker, the PR guy. The players, Nathan Rourke, and people are like, how dare you not care for the Riders? To say, can we move on? I've only said it 18,769,000 times. Move on. They're not moving on. They're not moving on. So you know what you got to do? You got to move on. They won't. I don't know who's coming up tomorrow, but I know it's going to be great. Yeah, Rich says, good old Kipling. Do you like Kipling? I don't know. I've never kippled. Okay. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow on the RP Show.
Good.